Okay, so this is a tax abatement appeal hearing for Saint Hilaire. I know how to say it in French, so
You got it right.
okay, Saint Hilaire versus Amherst Town no, we came out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're in open session. I'd just like to read a little bit of a guideline of how the hearing will be run, just so we'll administer the oaths, so and we'll the important thing to remember here is the burden of proof is upon the appellant. First, we'll have your the appellant's statement and presentation. Then the town will have an opportunity to ask you questions, and we'll have an opportunity to ask you questions. And then the town will be afforded the same thing. They'll be given an opportunity to make a presentation or statements, and then you'll have opportunity to ask questions of them, and same with us. Then we'll close. We'll have the town's closing statements, your closing statement, if there are any, and then we'll deliberate, or we actually have 60 days to deliberate if needed. So
excuse me, Paul, before we take testimony and whatnot, there's a couple documents I'd like to have some clarification on, so we can understand what we're doing here before we take testimony.
okay,
Why don't you swear these people in?
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was.
and then so we can ask questions.
Okay. Great, if you could stand.
Are you going to testify for the,
He's with me.
Oh, okay.
is somebody from the town?
Is this,
And there's nobody waiting to.
there's nobody from the town, so we'll just have you, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this matter before us today?
I do.
Great, thank you, and if the record could acknowledge or positive.
Oh, wait a minute. Have a seat, please. Thank you. There was nobody here from the town today?
Doesn't appear.
And there's nobody waiting. There's no participants.
They were given an opportunity to,
That's right. That's right. And
and they've received the correspondence.
gentlemen, I'm going to contend that by default, the applicant prevails because the town failed to come and present a case. How can we make a deliberation on this matter if we don't know the evidence from both parties and we don't have the other party?
Well, we still need to hear that the.
We don't need to hear that. We can,
Well, she needs to be given the opportunity to
Sure,
make her
but
case. And
she doesn't need to if she by default prevails.
Yeah,
And I'm saying that, I mean, we can talk to her all day and all we're gonna get is the car salesman's pitch. We're not gonna get, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, why would she say anything that would hurt her case? And if I want to rebut her case, or I want to, challenge any part of that, I have nobody here to talk to. Unless her husband's willing to
well,
tell me, but anyways, I just think this is a complete waste of time.
well,
She's here, the town isn't. You fulfilled your obligation, they didn't. You prevail, you get your tax exemption.
well, we still need to give her the opportunity to make her case, and, if the town comes in when it's their turn.
The only thing, Bill, that I just say, I understand the frustration. But we've had this happen before. This is the first time we've had the town not show. And we still essentially held the hearing.
Yeah,
We did have one of these before.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just like the last ones we had, one of those last two we had, the town never showed up
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
It
we
was the one where they had to do the reassessment of the whole town at the end. Like it was,
prior to me.
I forget, yeah,
Yes.
I forget who it was, but.
No, we still need to, hold a hearing, despite them not making an argument. And
We don't need to, but if you want to, fine, because I'll tell you right now, if this was a civil trial, and the plaintiff didn't show up, and the defendant did, the defendant would prevail automatically by default.
Yeah, but this is a little different.
Oh,
This
it's
is-
whatever we want to make it. This is an administrative hearing, which means we can set the rules for how we want to operate. So if you want to hear it, and John, you want to hear it, go ahead, we'll hear it. But I'm saying that this,
Yeah,
this,
Let's go ahead and hear it.
Yeah, very frustrating, but
Pretty quick.
yeah, great. The same.
I don't know where to
If you could-
start. Because I had questions from the town of Amherst as to why they made this decision in the first place. I will never get an answer.
well, if you don't have a presentation, we'll ask you simply, do you live at this residence?
Yes, I do.
Okay, case closed.
They're
That's-
saying that it doesn't appear to be lived in, but what you're looking at is my downstairs level, not the upstairs, which is where I reside.
And you're domiciled in this place.
Yes,
Under the definition of domicile, you live there?
I live there, my voter registration is there, I registered my vehicle there, everything is there.
And you don't have another residence?
No.
Okay.
I do not have another residence at all, especially in a homestead exemption. It is my only place. And I don't know why they've done this.
Any questions? My only question was, on the form, on the back of the homestead exemption form, there's a bunch of definitions of homestead, of a homestead. On the form, it says, homestead means residential property owned by an individual or individuals and occupied by those individuals. You are occupying this
I'm
residence.
occupying
That's your,
my furniture, everything. I have a freezer full of food, I have running water, I have heat, I have electricity. I don't know what more I'm supposed to have. I pay for plowing. I have no clue what's going on.
John, you have any questions?
No, that was the only thing that I had highlighted was that.
Bill, you have any questions?
No.
Okay, so, great. And your contention is your presentation is what you've submitted. You have
Yes,
nothing to add.
I, just what I submitted to you folks.
Okay, great. We'll give the town the opportunity to present. Is there anybody,
Still nobody.
still nobody here, so please note that the town is not present. They have submitted their receipt of notification. There's nobody here. Okay, so are we ready to close the hearing?
Yes.
So we'll close the hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll begin deliberations.
It's as simple as that, the only evidence we have before us is the statement by the applicant that she's domiciled at this residence. We have no contrary information, and I don't think we have any choice but to grant the appeal.
So is that a motion to,
I'm not ready to move. I want to hear your comments, and I'll be prepared to make one in a moment.
I agree. There's no case really. For what they've said. To me, it's just saying that the assessor came by, it didn't look like you were living there. Did you-
Right, and what he was, I'm sure, looking at, like I said, was the downstairs, which we've
Tell
had,
them what it is.
we've had 3 deaths in the family. It's their stuff that's down in the store. I live upstairs. I have my living room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. It's all upstairs. And they can't go by what they're looking at through a window while they're assessing the size of my home.
Gentlemen, excuse me, we don't take testimony during
No.
deliberations. I'm sorry, have a seat, please. I'm sorry, we enticed you into this, but we really don't take testimony.
So, yeah, so I feel like there's not enough evidence. I agree with.
well, so there is another, in other words, the appellant has provided the evidence required to, okay, so, I think what's in order is a motion.
Okay, I'm going to move that we grant the appeal of Diane St. Hilaire and award her a homestead exemption.
Seconded.
And it sounds like we also need to, have findings of fact and a statement to sign for our next meeting.
And that's,
Yeah.
Michael, you'll prepare that.
Just as long, I mean, the question, I think there is a 10-day time limit after that, once you've made that decision, to issue that written decision, no, if I recall. And if that is the case, then, you would have to somehow approve that within the 10-day time.
Okay, so what might be in order is to, okay, so there's a motion. There's a second, and there probably should be a motion to table that item till the next meeting. To give the administrator,
No, I think,
because we need to have findings of fact on
You
that.
do need to have that. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And we don't have that before us today because we had the hearing
we
today.
didn't know what was gonna be.
Yeah, so,
well, is it something as bizarre as making a finding today, as the motion is made, and then having the county administrator prepare a finding of fact and sign that and submit it to the town?
at our next meeting.
Nope, sign it on our behalf, understanding what our deliberate, it's, the finding of fact isn't going to change the result of our
Exactly.
award. It's
I see
simply,
what you're saying.
in other words, he's just simply going to create a record of what we have done today. This is going to be straightforward and simple for him to do. And when he gets done, he signs it on behalf of the commissioners and he sends it to the plaintiff, the applicant and the town. That way we don't have to meet again because he can't send it to the three of us, say, do you agree with this? We all agree, we've taken action. So without having to meet again and meet the 10-day deadline, we simply, as part of the motion, authorize the county administrator to develop a statement of fact and send it to the applicant and the town.
Are you comfortable with that, Michael? What we could do is have a few statements of fact now.
I mean, if I'm just reiterating what you approved, the motion that you take and findings that you want me to put on that, then you can make those motions and do all that. And then even if it's just us electronically using your signatures or whatever, however you, or some of you can stop in and sign it, you're just affirming what you did specifically. So I'm not creating any findings of fact. I'm just writing down exactly what you're deciding right now.
Okay, so let's, the first finding of fact is that the appeal is properly before us. I'm just gonna list a few here and then we'll incorporate them into the motion, if that's all right.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second is that the appellant, Saint Hilaire, I want to say it in French, I'm so sorry.
It's since not,
I am, I know.
but you have it right in English.
Is present and testified that this is her primary residence and that she is domiciled at this location.
Because this is finding a fact, it's that we've determined the evidence before us is that she is domiciled. In other words, it's not, regardless of what she said or the town says or whoever says, it's what did we take as a matter of fact. So
Well, I just,
from the testimony, we have
okay,
accepted, we have established that the applicant is a resident and domiciled.
yeah, but I want to, in the statement of, in the findings of fact, I want to state that she is present and testified. Okay, so appellant was present and testified.
We might as well make a note then that the town
Was not.
was not present.
Yes, that's correct.
And offered no evidence in support
The
of.
town of Amherst was not present and offered no testimony,
No evidence.
no evidence or testimony other than provided
Materials.
Documentation.
other than provided documentation. And for the commission finds that the appellant is properly done,
Occupancy.
yeah. Does that sound right, Monica?
Yeah, it was really already said.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the statement that you read. Your motion is what I was gonna add here.
So at this point, well, I'm not sure where you are.
The commission finds that the
Yeah.
appellant is properly
Yeah.
domiciled.
Yeah,
Commission is properly domiciled and awards the homestead exemption.
Does that do it? Okay, your motion is,
So I'm going to restate my motion to grant the appeal of Diane St. Hilaire, award her a homestead exemption, and to
request that our administrator
publish a statement of fact
indicating that,
statement of, no,
stating that,
and to publish a statement of fact, I don't want to say as follows, I don't want the whole statement of fact in my motion.
sure, why not?
Okay, so it's,
One, appeal, that the appeal
I'm
is,
not gonna type that, I'm not.
yeah,
To grant, wait a minute,
To publish a statement of fact.
yeah, publish a statement of fact with the following points, how's that?
to grant the appeal of Diane St. Hilaire, award her a homestead and to publish a statement of fact,
Or findings of fact,
a finding, yeah, finding of fact.
that the appeal is properly before us, because that's important.
Well, and that statement of fact's gonna be outlined. To grant the appeal of Diane St. to award her a homestead exemption and to publish a finding of fact, period.
And then say, one, the appeal is properly before us,
You'll have to pick that up from
yeah,
your record.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have that in my motion. But,
so I'm just gonna state it, the appeal is properly before us, the appellant was present and testified. Town of Amherst was not present and offered no evidence or testimony other than provided documentation, and then that the commission finds.
there was something in there about her being
The evidence before us is that she is domiciled.
properly
Yeah.
domiciled.
Yeah.
You got that in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, we have to get it
Chris,
right.
you wouldn't think we know what we're doing.
I know there's a process, so.
Well, this is just a tad different because we always do a valuation, the valuation of your property. This is the first time we've had a homestead exemption. I don't know how we covered the 10-day notice thing before, John, do you?
Well, that we decided and then we had the decision come before,
We made him wait 2 days, week, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, we have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, so we have a motion and a second, I just seconded.
Yeah.
And everybody's clear what the motion is and what we're voting on and that it covers our bases. Is there any further questions or comment? We're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And-
Okay.
And there's none opposed, so it's unanimous. Thank you for your patience and wow.
It's been a long haul.
So, Michael, you've been in contact with the town all along,
Yeah,
right?
so, I mean, they sent that letter out to them, they responded back with an email response that I gave to you. And then I sent them almost immediately following that, another email that said I had a couple additional
Okay.
questions for them, for information that I want to make sure that the commission had. And one of those questions was, will somebody from the town be attending? And I never received, the only response I got back was from the clerk. It basically gave me the copy of the property tax record. She said they would follow, she said the board of assessors would follow up with me, and I never heard anything.
Well, and they were provided service.
They were served. Their email obviously is in response to the service that they received,
Yeah.
so.
Well, we have a signed document that they received
They
service.
received.
There's a gentleman who come on camera. It's, advice and whatnot on abatement hearings. Wall, was his name John?
Yeah, that was the one that we had done.
If you get a chance, would you try to converse with him in his text or just an email, or just ask him
Okay, do you want me to end this recording?
Well,
about having a hearing where one party does not attend? Should we still conduct the hearing,
Yeah.
or can we just simply by default make a determination?
They're ready for you, Scott. You're welcome.
okay, so we'll resume our executive session for union contract negotiations. This is the motion that was previously passed to go into executive session per as permitted by MRSA Title 1 405-6D. So if the records could just note that we're going back in.
Okay. You're recording.
Yes, please.